Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have another complexion video. Yes, we have another foundation video. I really do have to count. What number are we at now? My goodness. Between last year and this year already, it just doesn't stop. This one we have to thank community member Belinda for telling me about. She said, did you hear about this new Dior foundation that's only at Ulta? What's that you say? Yes, she was right. It's also on the Dior website itself. And I've heard from other people that they got it, I think, in Europe, but I haven't heard much about it here. So let's call it new. New to us, certainly. This is the Dior Forever Natural Nude Foundation. Not to be confused with the Dior Forever Matte with the black lid, or the Dior Forever Skin Glow, also with a black lid. This has the same color lid as that primer did. This is not a primer though. This is a foundation. Yeah, I know. I hadn't heard of it either. And some of you are going, Rebecca, I've heard of it and I've had it for 2 months. Okay, but it's still relatively new. It is $55 and comes in 25 shades. I picked up shade 2.5N, and I can kind of do that blindly with Dior. One thing I love about Dior foundations and complexion products, generally, not always, of course, but generally the shades just kind of go, and I can grab one in a concealer, in a foundation, and pretty much be accurate. Unlike Lancome, which confused everybody with their changes, and Tom Ford, which is always all over the place, and other brands like that, and it's Charlotte Tilbury too. Dior Forever stays pretty consistent. This is supposed to be a fresh, lightweight foundation. I agree. And luminous without feeling like a mask. That's actually the brand's wording. It says it is not a mask, which I kind of like. Now, what they're trying to describe, of course, guys, is a serum foundation. And I predicted this. I did my rundown of serum foundations and which was my favorite, and I said in that video, now that I've done it, there's going to be another one on the horizon. You can't avoid it. So this is a serum foundation. It does promise to remain hydrating and radiant for 24 hours without feeling like a mask, which is just their way of saying it basically blends into the skin and is transfer proof. I picked my color, as you know, 2.5N, and I actually think the color is doing pretty well. I have just applied the rest of my makeup after the demo, and then when you watch the demo, the outro after the demo, we will have done about an 8-hour wear test. Now I'm hoping that this one wears well, because like the Laura Mercier and like the Say, if we're talking just about these serum foundations, a lot of people had trouble with those kind of dewy foundations, and this one is nice, and I don't have any primer underneath it. I've been using primer, Hollywood Flawless Filter, to be specific, underneath some of the more matte shades in the serum foundation, but this one promises to be luminous and stay luminous, so we're going to see how it lasts throughout the day as I go about my business and do other things. But first I want to show you the application and see what you think. So far, I am very pleased. I'm kind of crossing my fingers because I have high hopes for this one. It seems like it's a pretty one, and I like Dior complexion products anyway. So we'll talk about it afterwards and how it performed and how it compares to these other two that I was talking about earlier. Stay right there. Okay, my friends, you know the drill. Let's see if I got the color right. Let's put it on half the face, put on some makeup, and wear it for a few hours. We're all good at this by now. We've done, I gotta stop and count. How many foundations have we done now? It was like 50 last year. I don't know. I got a drawer full. If I lined them up and showed you guys my foundations, you would faint in horror. Okay, let's go ahead with this brand new. Let's take a look at it. First time out. I think I did okay on that shade. Feels nice in the hand, this one. A little nicer than the others. It's gotta be the same bottle. Okay, let's try this on half the face. Good old Sonia G brush. Oh, a little bit of a fragrance pops out at me and then dissipates, but it is there. Ah, yes. The familiar feel of a lightweight serum foundation, which we knew. Oh, actually, though, very lightweight. Nice luminosity. A luminosity I've only seen prior to this in the Say foundation, which has been universally panned. A few people out there like it, but let me tell you, not many. Okay, sorry, just use my finger to smooth that in. Okay, so we do have a nice luminosity. No primer under this today. Never is when I'm first trying it. Well, isn't that pretty? I wonder if this is going to get a wider release. Isn't that pretty? How does this compare so far to the other two Dior's? Well, we'll talk about that, so don't worry. Okay, great with the shade choice, isn't it? So this side, of course, has our brand new, is it new? Is it new to the US? We don't know. Dior, and this side has nothing. Really pretty. Boy, I know I'm staring at myself an awful lot, but I am impressed so far. Look how pretty that is. All right, let me speed it up and do the other side here on camera so we can see the whole face. Okay, let me just kind of, I like to use the warmth of my hands to just kind of, wow. Well, I am really hoping for good things because upon first application, that is very, very, very pretty. And you know, it's interesting because I have this redness here and it just really just went away, but it's so lightweight. The coverage is really nice. Let's hope that this lives up to, I don't know what promises it's made us, but what promises we have for it by giving it quite a few hours. In fact, it's early in the morning, so till the end of the day. Let's see what we think. My fingers are actually firmly crossed here. Stay right there. Okay, it has not been 8 hours. I hoped it would be, but it's been about 7. And that's just gonna have to do for today. I still feel it's a pretty good wear test. Okay, let's compare these, shall we, to the other two. We know that the Dior Forever Matte foundation is, for me, a little bit matte and needs a glowy primer underneath, but with a glowy primer underneath, I really like it. We're gonna look at how it's lasted on my face in a moment too. And then of course we have the Skin Glow, which is the matte with a little bit of a glow to it. And I'm most interested in how it compares to this one. This does not promise to be kind of a serum foundation. So leaving the matte out, because we know the matte is matte, let's kind of compare the glows here. So we have, this is the Forever Glow, and as you see it is a little, I'm thinning it out, but as you see it is a little bit thicker of a foundation because it is not this new serum foundation. Here's our brand new one that I am wearing right now that we are testing today. Fortunately, I've put a large glop of it. Look at that. So interestingly enough, let's spread it out. I did put a lot on, my fault. Okay, so as you spread that out, and as I take my pinky, which is clean here, and spread this out, there are the two shades, which are the same actually, interestingly enough. They look about the same. It looks like the the Skin Glow is a little bit cooler. It's kind of going a little pink. This one a little bit warmer. Definitely a thicker foundation here, which you're unable to see, but I can tell you that. And this one is definitely much more serum-like, and as you see, as it sits and dries, and I'll show you in a moment again once it's dry, sinking into the skin. And I think that's fairly obvious and actually makes it kind of an interesting comparison between a regular foundation and one of these newer that we're seeing in the beginning of this year and maybe end of last year, serum foundations. And as this dries, do not look here or here where there's still wet, but as this area dries here, it is pretty much gone and disappearing into the skin, whereas this, as a traditional foundation, is laying on top of it. And that's actually quite interesting. Both are very nice, but it's a different idea. Now, I think I mentioned this in the intro that I did right after I applied my makeup and right after I applied the foundation. It's oxidized a tad, just a tad. It's gotten a little bit warmer, and it is a neutral shade. It's gotten a little bit warmer. Nothing like that darn Too Faced one. I have told you guys this a few times. Pardon me for repeating myself, but when I edited my Too Faced Born This Way, that serum foundation video, I started giggling because I was orange like a big old carrot. That was hilarious. This is not like that, but it has gone a little bit warmer. Let's look at how it has fared over the hours. Interestingly enough, there's a definite glow. I don't know, I think the camera will pick that up. Here you can see the glow on my forehead. It's not bad, I don't mean that, but there's definitely a glowing property to this foundation. This is completely dried here, and so has this. And you can see this one is remaining, this side of it, with its glow, and this one is much flatter, even though it's a glowing foundation. That's really interesting. I think I'll get that in a better light and insert that over on the side, only because I'm not certain if that is showing up for you guys. So it has retained the luminosity which is really nice. I have a bit of a Highlighty by Terry blush on, but I don't have an actual highlighter. So anything that you're seeing coming off of my skin is the glow to the foundation itself. It is not drying, and I do have a few dry patches now. It's not clinging onto those, which a lot of us have noticed with serum foundations. Let's see, here and here, oh, you know, this shows a little bit, but it's good. Under eyes, looking pretty normal. Here I am seeing some pores, but nothing different than I would with a glowing regular foundation. Again, anything that has a bit of dewiness to it or luminosity will show pores or texture just by its nature. So that is not surprising, and it is not like it's highlighting the texture or anything like that, or the pores. Looks very, very, very nice. Okay, so other than a tad bit, just a tad bit of oxidation and a tad bit of a scent. When we first opened it, I have been having some migraines lately. It didn't set off anything. So I can't speak for your headaches, of course, but anybody who has migraines or allergies should know that there's a bit of a burst of scent when you first put it on, but I am not finding any sort of fragrance. There's no alcohol listed with some of these to make the dry down. Alcohol is the 4th or so ingredient, many of them, not in this one, and no SPF either. Hooray. A little burst of fragrance, less than any of the other fragranced products, and it absolutely dissipates, and no crazy coconuts, no crazy alcohol, nothing. Nothing like that would upset anybody. I am declaring this a big old winner. Who's tried this? How long has this been around in Europe? Hey, Belinda, thank you for telling me. How did I not know about it? What in the world? This one would have gotten by. This would have been the one that escaped. And how do I feel about this compared to the other two? I love the matte with a glowy primer underneath, but it's a regular old foundation. This one does nothing for me either way, the Skin Glow. This one's better than the Skin Glow, I really think, for sure. And I mean, I don't know. I'll get that so you can see that a little bit better. This has lasted really, really well and remained kind of dewy and very, very pretty. Oxidized, but barely, and that little burst of fragrance, but that's it in terms of crazy annoying things. I think it's a winner. Wow, where would it have been when I rated those 8? We did 8 serum foundations. Boy, this would have been darn near the top. It's a pretty one. Let me know if you've tried it. Let me know why I missed it. Not that you know why I missed it, but why was this not brought to my attention, Dior? You know what I'm saying? So let me know any information that you have about this little one that nearly got away, but we caught it. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. Hey, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel so we can continue to grow. Come and say a big hello over on Instagram and on TikTok too. And don't forget, you can become a bigger part of this channel by becoming a member or by giving super thanks. But in any way that you are here, I'm just thrilled to have you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.